Hey everyone, so what if I told you you're just two simple habits away from a completely transformed life? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea called the power of two. It's a simple system designed to cut through all that self-improvement noise. So let's just jump right in with a question that might challenge everything you've ever heard about building a better you. What if trying to build a dozen new habits all at once is the actual reason you keep falling short? Does this look familiar? I bet it does. Every January 1st, every Monday morning, fresh start, we make these huge, ambitious lists. We're gonna wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for an hour, journal our thoughts, hit the gym, drink a gallon of water, eat nothing but kale. And it's super inspiring for about a day. By day 10, you're exhausted and the whole thing just collapses. And here's the thing I really want you to hear. If that whole cycle sounds familiar, the problem isn't you. It's not a lack of willpower, you're not lazy. The problem is the strategy itself. This is something I like to call the habit overload trap. And it's this weird paradox where the pursuit of more actually guarantees you end up with less. So why does this keep happening to us? Well, there's a real psychological reason for it. It's called decision fatigue. Think of your brain's decision-making power like your phone's battery. You start the day at 100%. But every single new habit you try to force yourself to do, that's a huge drain on the battery. And if you try to add too many, you're gonna be at 0% by 10 a.m. And that's the moment when your brain, just feeling totally fried by this endless checklist, quietly whispers to you, hey, can we just not do all this today? And of course, one missed day turns into two, and before you know it, you're right back where you started. Okay, so if trying to do more is the problem, then the solution has to be less but better. And this idea comes from something called the Keystone Principle. Honestly, it's the secret to making real, actual change that sticks. So what's a keystone habit? It's not just another task on your to-do list. It's a foundational behavior. It's that one core practice that kicks off a positive chain reaction, and it makes all those other good habits feel almost effortless. This is the perfect way to picture it, the domino effect, right? Instead of trying to push down 10 different dominoes all at the same time, which is impossible, you put all your energy into finding and pushing that one lead domino. Because when that first one falls, it knocks over the others for you automatically. The goal isn't to build 10 habits, it's to find the one or two that build the other 8 for you. So what is that first domino we need to focus on? Well, it's a keystone habit that, honestly, most people completely overlook because it feels almost too simple. It's called daily clarity. Let's just look at the difference here. A reactive day, that's what most of us live. It starts with grabbing your phone. Immediately, you're slammed with emails, notifications, social media. You spend your entire day putting out other people's fires. A directed day, though, that starts with intention. Before the world gets a chance to tell you what's important, you decide what actually matters. And putting this into practice could not be easier. Every single morning, before you even think about touching your phone, just ask yourself one simple question. What are the 1 to 3 most important things I must get done today? That's it. This single act brings an incredible amount of focus to your entire day. But look, clarity is only half the battle, right? Knowing what to do is useless if you don't actually, do it. And that brings us to our second and equally crucial keystone habit, consistent action. This slide highlights an absolutely critical distinction. Most of us wait to feel motivated, but motivation, it's just an emotion. It's fickle, it's unreliable. Genuinely successful people, they don't rely on it. They rely on a system. A system takes away the debate. You don't ask, do I feel like going to the gym? You just go. Because the system says it's Wednesday at 7 a.m. And there's some really cool science that backs this up. It's called neuroplasticity. When you do small things over and over again consistently, you are literally rewiring your brain. You're strengthening the neural pathways for that behavior. And what used to feel really, really hard slowly becomes second nature, almost automatic. And I really need you to hear this part. The results you get from consistency, they aren't loud. They aren't immediate. For a long, long time, it feels like absolutely nothing is happening. It's quiet, invisible work. Until, all of a sudden, one day, the combined effects of all those tiny actions becomes impossible to ignore. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed something kind of strange about how we see other people succeed? We see someone achieve something amazing, and our first thought is almost always, wow, they just blew up overnight. It looks so sudden, so effortless from the outside looking in. But that's a total myth. The truth is, overnight success is almost always the result of thousands of small, boring, consistent actions that nobody ever saw. It's the sum of all the days they showed up even when they really didn't feel like it. So, what happens when we finally put these two habits together? Well, when you combine daily clarity with consistent action, you unlock the single most powerful force in personal growth there is: momentum. And it all comes down to this one fundamental principle. Complexity is the enemy of getting things done. The more steps you add, the more rules you make, the more resistance your brain is going to create. Simplicity, on the other hand, it removes all that friction and it just invites you to take action. So it all just boils down to this incredibly simple two-step system. Step 1, every single day you get clarity. Know what matters. And step 2, you take consistent action. You do what matters. That's it. That's the entire engine of transformation. So that really leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Are you going to keep chasing that overwhelming list of 10+ habits, setting yourself up for that same old cycle of burnout? Or are you finally ready to simplify and just focus on the two powerful habits that actually move